Get this going while throw the deck list up here while we're starting. Okay. So I made a couple changes in the recent months. Let me just turn down some of this here. So I made a couple changes since the last time I streamed the deck. Well, really just two changes. I ended up Is that better, Aaron? Change some stuff around. So I made a couple changes since the last time I threw this together. I noticed that when I added Collective Brutality into the sideboard, well, I'm going to be moving, Aaron. So we're moving in a week and a half. So hopefully there's a better stream situation where I'm like back up against the wall. You know, I don't have light coming in from weird angles. So it should be better. But back to the deck. Like, I noticed that I had a bit too much of a discard effect now that I had these Collective Brutalities and I wanted to. So I think tonight I'm trying on only 7 main discard spells and to summon that for a Kolaghan's command. Just trying that out tonight. So that's kind of the new thing. I might as well just jump on into the next league. How's it going, Mr. Tacos? Got two of them. Yep, that's what we're currently rocking. 2 of my friends from that I play with down here in DC hooked me up with the Twitch Prime. So a bunch of nice guys. Yeah. Okay, well, looks like Magic Online's tweaking out here. How's my synthesizer noise sound, Aaron? It's quite the laggy game here. It's a noob. I don't recognize the name. I'm getting to the point where I'm playing enough. I just downloaded this. So I downloaded this noise. I downloaded like a synthesizer noise from YouTube, from one of like the YouTube playlists, and now I just play it in the background of the stream, like about 35 decibels below my voice, just so that if I sit here and I'm quiet, then it's not just completely. It's not just complete silence. This hand is fine here. There's no threats, but we have probably one of our best cards and two sets of disruption. Grant was not a huge fan of it when he was listening to it last time. He said it was too loud, but I think it was might have been his headphones. So this is a good hand. We'd like to see like a Death Shadow or a Tarmogoyf, but we can't be perfect. Yeah, it's just meant to be something, because sometimes I spend too much time thinking, and I don't want people to be like, nothing's going on. So this hand would be, like I said, like this hand's very good if we draw a threat, but even without that, it's still pretty good. That could also... So it's supposed to be like a very low, hum, sort of. Oh, so we're playing against Dredge. Okay. This is an absolutely terrible Dredge hand. We're going to need to find a Termur Battle Rage. And that's probably god-awful. So I do think that I have to Thoughtseize my opponent here, because I could hit something like a Faithless or a Cathartic Reunion. So however sad that is, I think I do have to do it. We are probably just stone dead in this game. No, they have 2 Cathartics. Okay. I want to get something a little more like classical music, but this is just what I found in the time that I had. So I'm gonna have to get a piece of paper because it's gonna be hard to keep track of their lands if I don't have a piece of paper. So I'll be right back. Okay, so they Cathartic'd. They discarded a Conflag and a Narcomoeba. Okay. So, alright, we don't want to draw another land, so I'm going to fetch a Bloodcrypt here before we cycle this Street Wraith and just hope to find some kind of a threat. Alright, it wasn't a threat. So this is gone also. So we know they have Arid Mesa. That's the only card that we know they have still. I do have to be careful of this Conflagrate in here. It's been a little while since I played against Dredge. Flashback their looting, sure. No dredges out of it, which is pretty amazing. They hit an imp. So I'm going to Tarfire my opponent here, so that if I draw a Traverse, it's live for no mana. No, we didn't do it. So I'm actually just going to play this tapped, and I'm going to fetch my basic next turn, and then get this Ranger of Eos. Oh, happy birthday! Okay, so they have an imp in their hand. They still haven't found anything to come back from the graveyard, which is pretty incredible. Sure. So we just Brutalities one of our 2 removal spells. We then untap and go probably shock ourselves to go get a Ranger. Oh, they nugged us, so then we're not going to shock ourselves here. Yeah, so we can choose to shock ourselves later. We don't have to do that right now. So let's go get this Ranger. We might win this game, which is going to be pretty incredible, I think. Yeah, I love this Ranger. This Ranger won me 3 games this weekend at the IQ. Which I went 5-2 in, but missed the top 8 on breakers. I lost too early in the day. Okay, so here comes the team, and they found a loam. There's another amalgam. Okay. All right, so this game just went south real quick. Now we're going to need Termur Battle Rage to win this game. So 1, 2. Okay, so opponent's got 3 cards in hand. Unfortunately we can't Death Shadow, Traverse for Death Shadow. I can play 3 Death Shadows, so I can go block, block, block. Take 2. My opponent loams. They get loam back 4. They cast loam. So they get loam. So they're going to have how many cards in their hand? They're going to have 6. So they can Cathartic us for 6. So I just got to hope that they miss that, I guess. So we're going to attack with this Ranger. This is an incredibly slow hand from both of us. I'm pretty sure that we're dead. So we're going to traverse. Oh, I need to plug my computer in. Give me 1 second. So traverse for Death Shadow, and then run out 3 of them. And then I think I'm dead if my opponent sees it. Because I believe they dredge back loam, 4 cards, get 3 more cards in their hand, and then they just dredge loam, conflag me for 6, and then attack with these 2. No, Modern's not that fast. Maybe the fastest Modern decks turn 2 people, but not most of them. The fastest Modern decks on the best draws. Yeah. Opponent saw it. How sick would it be if we had a Slaughter Pact right there? Okay. So, we actually have a pretty good dredge sideboard here, like, it's kind of set up. Moto's freaking out. Like, we have these 2, Flaying Tendrils, which is great, and we have 3 Spellbombs. We want to cut Ranger, which means we can also cut the Godless Shrine. And we want to cut our Veils. So these will be our first cuts. I don't like the Fatal Pushes very much in this matchup. I would much rather have Last Hope and Pulse. So I think this is what we're going to go with here. Let's sort this. I've been trying experimenting with boarding out the Godless Shrine if we don't need the white mana. Because I know back in the day they used to board out the Forest. I don't think I want anything else against Dredge. Like, maybe this Lingering Souls is better than this Fatal Push. Or Brutality. I'm going to go with Brutality is better than Fatal Push. Because both basically kill the same thing. Like everything but Prized Amalgam, but I can duress. I can do more things with this. So yeah, this is what we're going to go with. This is a 1 mana spell, not a 0 mana spell. So we're going to look for a really aggressive... we're going to look for a real aggressive opener. Like a Termur Battle Rage kind of opener. Or we're going to look for a sideboard card. Which is, we have a sideboard card and a Death Shadow. So I don't think that we can mulligan this hand. This is kind of like the cost of doing business of playing Death Shadow. We have 16 lands, fetch shock 15. If we draw a land, it's a turn 2 Death Shadow. So I do believe I'm going to keep this hand, even though it can be sketchy. Well, maybe I should have thrown this back because this is already like a mulligan. So we get Overgrown Tomb in case we draw Traverse, because Traverse is also a live draw for next turn. So okay, so my opponent's got a pretty good hand. They're going to be able to dredge on one. So let's take this looting. And then we can choose to either, if we draw a land, we can just get rid of this imp after they cast their first looting. And then we might just, maybe we'll do that because it might just be worth, well, he's so redundant that I don't think that's a real winning line there. Okay, so he plays Neonate. We got there. All right, let's play this first. See what our opponent does. I don't know if they'll crack here or not. I'm not very good at this. I don't really know too much about this dredge deck. I don't see... So they have an imp in their hand. So I don't think this is juicy enough to pop. So I think I'm just going to get our threat down. Like, they're going to be able to dredge next turn regardless of what I do because they can just play this Neonate and then hit the... after I bomb their graveyard. So I can't stop that. What I will do, I'm going to put a stop. We should always put a stop on the dredge draw step because we should see when we gain priority back whether we should hit something or not. Like I said, if there's a con flag, I might. So you got a con flag. So what do they dredge back? They dredged from Stinkweed Imp. I do think I'm going to get rid of this right now because the con flag gets rid of my only threat currently. And it sucks that we don't draw a card, but... And they're going to be able to fuel back up. Like there's the Neonate. Probably play a tap Stomping Ground here. No, they're just doing it right now. Oh, wow, that was a good hit. Maybe I made the mistake. Yeah. So this is difficult because, like, I could have obviously waited, but if I leave them with a con flag in the yard, then they have the option to, what do we got? So we got another Death Shadow. God, we're going to get so wrecked by a con flag. I do think I'm just going to play this Shadow out. Leave up being able to Tarfire ourselves. And we're not going to trade an Archamoeba for this. So they didn't get a con flag. So they've got Imp in their hand. Wonder if he attacks. Yeah, he does. So he just keeps on dredging here. Hits over both of his pulses. So he's going to get back a Narcomoeba, which means he's going to get back an Amalgam. Then he gets back everything else as well. So block, block. I'm not dead. Unless he's got engineered explosives. And then I can't deal with these. So block here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3. So I go block, block. I take 5. So I need to have both of them back. So I do think that we're just playing defense here. And Well, and I'm just gonna bomb my opponent. Well, I guess I should bomb them now because I might hit a land drop, which is going to be relevant to saving life total. Okay, so there's Traverse. So Traverse, if I draw like a land next turn, will let me Traverse for Street Wraith to get another draw. Okay, so they just play Imp. So I guess I need Temur Battle Rage here. And I still don't think that does it. So I can Traverse for Swamp, play Swamp, hit this, hit one of these, gain 2 life, go to 5, go block, block, then 1, 2, 3, 4, go to 6. So block this, 1, 3, 4, 5 comes through. I guess that's what we're going to do. So let's Traverse for a land. And then what am I discarding? Probably discarding this Kolaghan's command. Because it'll give me Delirium. So let's escalate with 2 modes. -2, -2, gain and drain. And then if our opponent gets like a little too aggressive here, then we might be able to kill him if we draw. I don't know. I don't think we're definitely reaching. Block, block, take 4, or block, block, go to 1. Place another imp. No, that's all she wrote. Right, because, yep, to the next game. Yeah, I just didn't, I needed rage in either of those games. Like, both my hands were just a little too slow. So, we got dredged, which will happen from time to time. Late game Death Shadow, that's something you don't see. Yeah, well, we needed it there. We needed it there, and then we needed some in order to get lucky enough with that. Here we go. We got paired. So the brutality was fine. It's good to know that maybe it's good in other places, except, you know, it's like a all-star and burn, but that's kind of it. So yeah, we'll keep this hand. We've got the old scry to check out our top card action. So we'll keep this. We've drawn our 1 Kolaghan's command, and probably it seems like every game. Green. What does basic forest mean? Oh, I should have. Basic Forge is probably like a Nightfall deck, or maybe an Elves deck with a rough start. I don't think we want Tarmogoyf. I will get Stomping Ground here, though, and if I don't hit anything off of this, if I don't hit a land off this, I'll just Traverse. No, so then now we'll just pass. That's another good draw. So now I'll probably Tarfire myself. I don't know what. Is this like a Blood Moon deck? Like maybe that's got to be what this is. This This has got to be a Blood Moon deck of some sort. But I need to get this Death Shadow down. Punish for... We could have... Well, I guess we couldn't have gone. So let's Traverse for Death Shadow. Then I'll get a Bloodcrypt and cast Death Shadow. Use Marsh Flats because it's our worst land. God, Moto's a little laggy. It seems like I can't imagine a Scapeshift deck. Oh, it's a Jeez Crow. Courser. Okay, so it's like a green-white value town kind of deck. Alright, let's look at my top card. If I don't want it, we'll shuffle now. Liliana Veil, we don't want that. So let's go get an Overgrown Tomb. I'm just going to push this right now. Attack for 6, then play another Death Shadow. So it's kind of like a green-white, it's like Todd Stevens' deck, I think. I think it's like the Abzan Value Town deck, or whatever you like to say. So our opponent's actually dead if they don't do anything. Because we can... I was going to say, we could have, like, Tireless Tracker. Okay, so there's the Misty we knew about. So here, I'm going to cast this Liliana, and instead of the Kolaghan's command, because we can get value off of this right now. Because most of the time, this Liliana will come down when there's a voice, and you can't get anything out of it. So it's kind of path here or game over. Yeah, so one of our Death Shadows are getting pathed. Okay. So I'm going to now cycle this before we go to combat, because if we hit a fetch land, then they're dead. Fetch land? Nope. And if they fetch, we can get them with the Kolaghan's command here. Alright, so that should be pretty good. I think I'm discarding this Thoughtseize. No, I'll probably discard. No, I'll discard this Thoughtseize. Because I'm assuming I'm going something like Tarmogoyf into Terminate next turn. If I had to guess. They ditched a company. So they must have another company. Or they just have they have a path also. If they have company and path of their last two cards, which it's got to be if they're discarding this. Oh. Alright. Oh, that's gross. Alright. Yes, we don't have another one. Alright, so we're still just going to run this Tarmogoyf out there. And we're not going to do anything with this Terminate because, it's not worth killing either of these. We got another company. So they got Arbiter and Big Thalia. Okay. Your Twitch froze. So we don't really have a lot going on here. Block, hit this. I do actually need to kill one of these things right now, though. So What I kind of want to do is, I want to save this K command in case he gets too cute, but I think I'm just going to terminate. I'm going to terminate this thing because it's the most annoying. And then I'm just going to tick up. Because I really don't want to trade my Liliana for either one of these. Then pretty much my out. Try refreshing it. Oh, I can't double click on it. So pretty much my out is drawing my second Tarfire or him, what was I going to say? Or him fetching. Got a Ramanat. I got another Ghost Quarter. Just strip mine for days. Oh yeah, we were dead to that. Yep. Yep, this might be a quick league for us. This green-white matchup is just absolutely abysmal. Okay, so we don't want Ranger. We don't want Ranger. We don't want Liliana of the Veils. We want Brutality. We don't need this Godless Shrine. This Pulse might be too slow. It's kind of like, what other removal spells do I want more? Maybe I don't want this Inquisition. Maybe just the removal's better, because the games will drag out. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to do. 4 viewers, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the support. Watching me get mollywopped here, because that's what this is. Lost 0-2 to Dredge. Probably, this green-white matchup's not good at all. So this is probably going to be a pretty close one. We almost had him, but our opponent just kept a really slow hand that wound up working out against us. MTG bot, what's going on with the plugs? Alright, I would like to play first. Yeah, this hand's fine. Like, we have Disruption into a Tarmogoyf into some way to mess up creatures. I'm going to lead off with Overgrown Tomb, because I do actually want to draw another land and turn this off. I don't want to have to traverse for it. I'm thinking about it. Oh, they kept theirs. And we do know our opponent's into keeping Sketchers, but maybe that's just like the cost of doing business playing that deck. Like, you're not going to beat combo decks game 1, so it's alright keeping those slow hands. Okay, so we have the first path covered. We don't have this Ramanat covered. We don't have... Thanks for the update. What is this guy, 2/2? Okay. I kind of just want to take this Excavator and look to beat down a little bit. Though this Arbiter is going to be a real issue. Because we just don't have any removal for it. Like, I might have to traverse for a land on our turn 2 so that we can deal with this. I can't really ignore this Arbiter. How many ways do I have to kill this thing? I've got 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11, 12 after sideboarding. 12 cards and 2 draw steps. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to take its Excavator. Because the Excavator doesn't die through this Flaying Tendrils. Okay, so that's going to give us another draw at it. I would be surprised if my opponent passed here. But they might do it. So I'm going to get Bloodcrypt. I probably should have gotten Stomping Ground there because our hand is very green. We could use the green sources. Oh, so they are going to path this Tarmogoyf. Yeah, like if they want to do that, yeah, they're gonna path. I can't believe they're pathing this Tarmogoyf. Look what their top card is. I'm really surprised they pathed that Tarmogoyf. And then they're not playing their fetch land while they have Leon and Arbiter in play. All right. Okay, so there's no land. I do think we're just gonna put this Tarmogoyf out here, and then play this untapped so that if we get a Death Shadow, we can play it at some point. Yeah, it's just like now they're playing a turn behind. All right, that's a really good draw. So let's. Except that Lightcaster is going to hit our first Death Shadow we play. So if I go like this, traverse. Okay, so I'm going to attack first. And I'm actually just going to traverse for another Tarmogoyf to get him to play out this Castigator. Oh, they actually... So they just traded. Okay. So now we traverse... What is this, like an Aven Mind Sensor? It's an Aven Mind Sensor. Alright. Well, we got a Street Wraith. Alright, let's cycle this to see what we draw. And then we'll pass. I'm assuming he's going to play his... I hope he plays his Lightcaster here. Doesn't look like he's going to. Alright. So I'm going to attack first. And then we're going to take care of this. And then I will traverse for a Tarmogoyf here, but I won't play it. Let's get another Mind Sensor. Jeez, some crow. He's got another one. Should have fetched. Nope. Oh, there's a Temur Battle Rage too. Oh man, that's such a beating. And now he's got company. Jeez, some crow. Still has the Exiled on there from the Flaying Tendrils from last turn. So like Battle Rage off the top. So how do I win? Like they're not gonna just miss off of this. Off of this company. But if I like, am I going to kill that? Am I going to beat them even if they don't? This Tarmogoyf becomes a 6/7, 6, 1 short. Yeah, I don't think we can attack. I think we just have to wait here. Hope they whiff off this, then Tarfire this, and drop draw something good. Alright, that counts as a whiff. Then I'll Tarfire this. Hopefully he just goes for it. Oh no, no, I have to do this with the Exalted on the stack here. Right. So get that. Oh jeez, he had a path for the Tarmogoyf too. Man. This guy just had it. Alright. Going out on our own terms. This is looking to be a quick league. Like, that was just brutal. He had the Tarfire followed up by no, he didn't. The fact that he had both of those mind sensors right there were just, that was just brutal. That's alright. I'm gonna grab some water, put the deck list up here, and I will be right back. Yeah, that was so brutal. So I hope everyone's having a good Wednesday night. I hope all their days are going well. Where did I put... Oh, we're in it. Okay. No, I'm all set. Oh, well, good. I hope it's good. What are you getting? What are you getting, sir? Alright, the O2 bracket. We're going to ship this. Well, I guess we got good manipulation, but if we just draw another land, we almost have Delirium. Now, if we draw another land, though, it's just terrible. Alright, this hand's much better. No, well, I guess not much better, but... I'm going to put this in the bottom. And I will Thoughtseize my opponent. So let's get a Bloodcrypt. God, Magic Online's pretty laggy today. For Druckers, I don't even know what those are. Oh, man. This is just mono awful. So I guess I just take this Blessed Alliance, get a Tarmogoyf Path, get a second Tarmogoyf Mana Leaked. But then, like, these three cards checkmate my two Tarmogoyfs. This is absolutely gross. The Blessed Alliance messes with my Death Shadows later in the game, so I think I'm just going to get rid of this, but wow. They're blue, white, red, so we do have to be a little... They look to be... So that was their draw step, okay. So we might have to be a little bit more... a little careful of our life total as they can start flinging bolts at us if they need to. There's Flooded Strand. Okay. still just asking to get Supreme Verdicted, though. So let's get in. Yeah, he takes this. And then I'm just going to cast... I'm just going to cast this Tarmogoyf. Then hopefully we find like a path, or we find another discard spell. This is a good sign for us. He's going to mana leak this, then. If he's mana leaking this, I'm going to assume that he didn't draw a land. Should have done that pre-combat. I always forget to do that. I think I'm going to jam this Death Shadow now. Because I don't want him just pathing. And at least now, but he can choose to take his lumps. It's a hamburger place in Arizona. Well, I hope it's good. Okay, so he'll have Supreme Verdict mana up. Then. Going out? Okay. Yeah, he's just pathing my Tarmogoyf like he's not... He has a Supreme Verdict. Love you. That seems weird. We are drawing mono lands, though. Yeah, I think we're just going to do 3, like, to him, because this Colonnade's going to put some pressure on us. Islands, we know 3 out of their 4, so they're verdicting. A Kolaghan's command off the top would be very good. Good. Might as well fetch for this now. I'm going to just get a tapped Godless Shrine, so that if we do hit Delirium, then we can just traverse for Ranger. Looks like it's getting a little darker in here. We let a little bit of light in. I can't wait for my next play. Jeez, another Supreme Verdict, and he played a Scalding Tarn. So his last 2 cards are Mountain Cryptic. Well, that's a good draw, because you know he's going to go for it eventually. With his Colonnade, and as soon as he attacks with his Colonnade, we get Delirium. This guy's played this game oddly, so he might just fire it up right now. Scalding Tarn, so we know what he drew. No, he's just sitting back on it. Okay. That's all of our fetchable lands. I guess we'll keep that in case we draw Liliana the Veil. Now we're just turning into a staring contest here. I wonder if he has, like, if he's got Nahiris in his deck. So there's a mountain we knew about. Okay, there's a Bauble. So let's see what they're drawing. They're drawing another land. I think we're going to sit back on this Traverse because it's all we have going on. And we know what our opponent's doing. We're now 2 out of the 3 cards. That's a good draw. Definitely got punished there for not playing my land. Okay, so let's see what they're drawing. I don't expect this Thoughtseize will resolve. They're drawing a path. That's okay. Because I believe the game plan here is to traverse for Ranger. Okay, Cryptics it. Counter draw. We can't go for. We're going to play into Mana Leak. We're dead if he has a lightning bolt, then I guess we're dead. But because he just bolts us, fires up his colonnade, and goes here. So he's got a remand. Okay. So now we have to be careful because we're dead to bolt if he goes for it. There's an Inquisition, so that's a good draw. Oh, he's got to Ghost Core to this Godless Shrine, right? Oh my god. All right, well, I'm gonna see what's going on here. That's unreal. Snapcaster. He's gonna get a Crypt command here. Yep. Gotta take this path. Oh, he's gonna cast Cryptic too? Yeah, this is just mediocre plays. He just should not be doing this. Like, he should just be chilling out and like making it so I can't cast Ranger, then just bouncing one of my lands and drawing a card. Like, we're definitely, you know, in the O2 bracket. Let's get this Death Shadow, and this Death Shadow. And then we'll play this one out so it gets pathed. Five years, guys. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Yep. So we don't know any cards left in their hand. Another Colonnade. That's bad news. Okay, so I might as well just take this. It doesn't change the clock, right? 3. Because I'm dead to a Lightning Bolt. I guess this makes so I'm not dead to Electrolyze, which I could see this guy playing. Because Death Shadow's still a one-turn kill. Unless they've got Cryptic Command here. Alright, have a heart, opponent. It's a good thing we played around Electrolyze. So Snapcaster kills us, Lightning Bolt kills us. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So against this control deck, we want, I don't believe we want this, this Ranger's alright, but I know we want these. And I believe we want some number of these. I don't think we want Tarfire. I don't think we want Terminate. I don't think we want Dismember or Temur Battle Rage. I want that. So I cut one more card. Probably can cut a push. I could see cutting Ranger for I could see definitely cutting Ranger for a, God, 9 3-drops. Just so many. I can see cutting Ranger for the Spellbomb because resolving a 4-mana sorcery against a Crypt Command deck seems pretty difficult. I could just see cutting both of these and this and bringing in these 2 Brutalities and the Spellbombs. I think I'm going to do that. Like we're just going to cut off Snapcaster and we're going to try to hit his most important cards. I guess this Decay doesn't have very many targets. We'll keep this Ranger in for that. I keep forgetting that the control decks are usually blue-white and they're playing like Detention Sphere or something like that. Gosh, it's so gloomy in Washington, D.C. today. I'll be right back to sketch on some lights. Yes, UW will bring in Rip also. I don't think this deck will be bringing in Rip. So I'm going to keep this hand, and I'll probably be Lay of the Landing if there's not a land on top here. Liliana is just where I want to be at against this deck. Death Shadows. We don't want that. So let's search for an Overgrown Tomb. And then we will... I really don't want to Traverse for my basic Swamp. Because then his paths are like super value. So I guess I'm going to wait. I have the ability to hit my land drop anyways next turn if I need to. And I only really get punished, I guess, if I don't draw land, see there's a land there. Like if I had drawn Tarmogoyf next turn, I'd have been a little punished. Serum Visions, probably. Yeah. They put a card on the bottom, put a card on top. That's a pretty good draw. So the question is do I make sure... I think it's worth hitting Liliana next turn. But I'll check out if they have if they have a couple counter spells, then I won't Traverse for a land. But if they only have one, then I will Traverse for land. Yeah, so now we're definitely going to Traverse for land. Our opponent's hand is uber expensive. And they put one card on top. So I guess, what would they keep on top? I should have done all this before I did my thinking about this. I could see them keeping another land on top, probably. That's what I would imagine. So to make sure they got all of this stuff. There's Steam Vents tapped, okay. So, I'm going to discard my Liliana to give me Delirium so that I can, like, Traverse for a fetch land next turn or Traverse for a Street Wraith. Probably a Street Wraith. There's a mountain. So they got, 3 other 5 cards. Okay, so now I think that we're going to just ditch this Traverse. What do we got here? It's like a Vendilion Click. Oh, they're electrolyzing me. Ooh, that changes everything. Oh, it just redirects there. Okay. And we're just going to play one of our Death Shadow. It's probably, I would say this means like a Lightning Bolt's coming here. I'll get the Godless Shrine. Give my opponent the choice to bolt either this Death Shadow while it's just a 1/1 or kill this Liliana. MTGO is the only thing. Yeah, I think that Magic Online is just not having its greatest day today. That being said, I did just call my internet provider and tell them we were canceling their services on the 11th, so maybe they're handcuffing us. This is a cryptic. Okay. So they have cryptic, supreme verdict. I guess we're going to start by ticking up, and I'm okay attacking with a 1/1 Death Shadow for now. I guess I shouldn't have been okay with that because of Electrolyze. Like, he's already showed me Electrolyze in his deck. I just want to kind of pace our opponent right now. If they want to flash in, I guess I could have flashed in Snap, Helix, then attack this. They might just Cryptic Bounce. I like that play. Like, you have to use your mana as a control deck. They miss a land drop, so they have 4 spells. Let me go to combat here, get my 1 point in, so he doesn't go, like, tap my team or something like that. So I'd assume this means he has another Cryptic Command. Yeah, Magic Online is definitely a little laggy today. Let me just... So this gets countered. Then we pass. I mean, I brought this Pulse in just thinking that they had, like, Nahiri or something like that. But they might just be, you know, like a no-win condition kind of deck. Alright, let me get in here. Attack for 1. This is the wimpiest Death Shadow of all time. We'll Bauble our opponent. What's going on, Gary? So we only know 2 cards about what they have going on. Not much. Magic Online's lagging a little bit. At least I think it's Magic Online. I mean, might be them tweaking out. What do we got here? Just gonna go Cryptic Bounce this, draw, they're gonna Electrolyze me. God, that's so gross. Oh, they messed up. They messed up. That is not how Death Shadow works. Nice job, opponent. Oh, this is gross. If he tech edges my white source, I can't cast my Lingering Souls. Then we'll need like a Collective Brutality or a Liliana to get this in play. So we know 4 of their cards, and one of them's a land. One's a Supreme Verdict. We're on the rally train there, Gary. Alright, let's cycle this. Okay, so I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to attack and then cast Lingering Souls. That might be tasty enough for our opponent to verdict. Okay. These basics are for bitches. And I'll leave up the red because we can Tarfire. Background music, is it a bit loud? I can move it here. And I'll play this and pass. I was trying just to have like something back there. What's going on, Elliot? Snapcaster. Oh, he's gonna Electrolyze me? Jeez. Just gonna catch both of these spirits here. Maybe I should have flashed back, but I know he's got Supreme Verdict. Man, Electrolyze is a good card. So I go to 7 here, fetch to 6. Okay, so he keeps playing lands that this. He must have already played this Steam Vents. What is this? Is this like a Rest in Peace? Or a Nahiri? No, Gideon? God, I love this card. Makes a 2/2. That's alright. We will pulse it and then flash back our Lingering Souls. Alternatively, I could just pulse it and play Death Shadow, but that might make him Supreme Verdict. I don't know what his last card is besides that. I guess I can go Pulse, play Death Shadow. Yeah, I think I like going Pulse and then playing the Shadow because I can then eat both of his blockers and I guess I'm just dead to a Snapcaster, which I wasn't really thinking about. Alright, so we go down to 2 here. Then we flash this back. Flash back Lingering Souls and hope that he didn't rip a bolt or something. Yep. Oh no, he just tech edged my white source? Okay. So that's good, but not quite good enough to cast it. And I'll get this just so that I can, I don't know, if I draw a 2-drop next turn, I can go Liliana and make a play. And just hope our opponent doesn't have anything here. Kind of hoping our opponent doesn't have anything for the rest of the game. Just block. Pass priority. Then we have another fetch land, right? We have another Overgrown Tomb. Okay, so we know they just have Godless, or just have Supreme Verdict. What? Oh, it's been one of those days for me. It's been one of those days. We drew another land. I kind of meant for it to be just kind of like nice and there, you know? So now the line is just make sure our opponent doesn't do anything. Or hope our opponent doesn't draw anything for the rest of this match. Or our opponent's just like mono bricks. Collective Brutality wouldn't be bad. They're thinking twice. Into Serum Visions. Then they go top anything, then we're probably dead. Bottom. Top. They just got, if they top a card, it's got to be like a lightning bolt, right? What is going on here? Alright, like, we can't take them home with us. Counterflux. It's a weird one to bring in. I mean, they just barely topped a card, so I can't imagine that we're going to live through this. They might top, like, they might top a Colonnade. I could see them doing that. So they flashback their thing twice. So they just drew the card they topped. Island. What? Well, unfortunately, we can't cast that. I have no idea. I mean, maybe it's a Snapcaster. I could see them topping a Snapcaster. They just main phase that. What is going on? What could you have topped? I guess we find out now. Unless I made a mistake. Path. Then we're just going to ult this, and hopefully that does enough. It's not going to take very many turns of this emblem to do it. Oh, Gary, I opened a Liliana up in a treasure chest a couple days ago. What is this? It's a cryptic command. I'm just going to bounce my Liliana. God, what a savage. Oh, it's a torrential gear hold. All right. You got it, opponent. No, we weren't beating that. Okay. So that league went like shit. So let's look back at the deck list here. Let me just see if I want to change anything. I think I want to test out a K command in this deck for a little while longer. I cut down on an Inquisition, so I was only playing 3 in that league just to see if, like, because I felt with the addition of Collective Brutality that I was getting a little heavy on the discard element, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we can jump back in and try another one. I'd like to keep trying this card out. Dude, it's supposed to just be there so that, because sometimes if I'm thinking, I don't want there to just be nothing, you know what I mean? I don't want there to just be silence. I do want to get something else in there. We didn't win a game in that league. Whoa, we played against Dredge and we didn't draw Rage. We played against Dredge. We played against the green-white Value Town deck, which I don't think this deck's ever going to beat that deck. The old Twitch Prime for Gary. I'm moving down to Alexandria next week, Gary. I'm going to ship this back. Wow, it's hot in here. I want to turn the AC on. Still the East Coast, yeah. I think we got to keep this. Put that on the bottom. I'll fetch for a Stomping Ground. Oh man, we're playing against the Black-White Eldrazi deck. So here I'm going to fetch for Overgrown Tomb. And then I'm going to cycle Street Wraith and we'll pass. What do we got? You got anything for us here, sir? No, it's not bad. It's one of our 8 hits. Okay. There's a whole lot of, like, never gonna win. I guess we just take this path. Take this Tide Hollow Sculler. But yeah, we're not beating this setup here. Unless we draw very well, very fast. So just play this tapped, buy me some more time and pass. It's gonna take Ranger to win this game. I just need to, well, he's even got the vault. Right. I mean, he's gonna do plenty of damage to us. I think we gotta play this slow here. I think we need to just find some discard spells and then hope to just like one-shot our opponent. And our opponent missed a land drop. So you're telling me there's 5 spells in their hand. I guess we pop one of these now. Okay. So that's how we're going to find our Ranger. That's going to get our Godless Shrine. So let's go Traverse. Get the Ranger. And then we're going to slog through both of these paths. If he just goes like Thought here, I'll just puke. So 3, 12, 10, 9, 7. I don't think we pushed one of these yet. So this puts us to 9, 7, 4, 1. If we draw another card to get Death Shadow going on. I guess we don't need to be at 1. We need to have our Death Shadow to be at 10/10, so I am going to push one of these to just slow down their clock a little bit. I should have done that then pre-combat if I was going to. Okay. It's all about the last Death Shadow standing. I don't think that my opponent's going to be vaulting, like Archangeling. Okay, so this gets pathed. We then go to, they go to 17, we go to 5. One path down. Ugh. Okay. All right. So let's get in with our Ranger. Just hope they didn't draw 2 more removal spells. I mean, I can't imagine they didn't. Like, what else would they wouldn't be? They can't play Tide Hollow Scullers, so maybe they've got a bunch of Tide Hollow Scullers in their hand. Yep. So there goes both the Death Shadows. So now they have 2 white. Alright, we'll just take this. And if we have to, we can Abrupt Decay one of these spirits. They could just play in Flashback Lingering Souls. No. Couldn't just let me have it. And this has got to be whatever it is, thing that kills. Just brutalitying me. Okay. Doesn't, I mean, killing this. I probably should have just killed this in response. Yeah, because now I'm on a no outer. Yeah, we would have had another turn. Oh, wow. We are getting worked over today. Okay, so we want this, we want this, we want our own Lingering Souls. We don't want our Veils. And we don't want the Tar Fires. Maybe I want some number of Spellbombs to fight over his Lingering Souls. I kind of want to keep my Rages in, though. That's going to be difficult with the amount of removal that he has, but I don't know how we're going to fight over those Lingering Souls. Maybe I'll cut like 2 Inquisitions and bring in 2 Spellbombs. It's just Lingering Souls. It's not worth it. Oh, let me get this in. Okay, so this removes creatures, so I guess I'll bring these in. Yeah, that's removal. 5 years, guys. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate the support, and I hope everyone's having a fantastic Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, we got to keep this. We have Disruption. We're 3/4 the way to Delirium, and we get to Scry with our top card. Actually, I'm just going to look at them. I don't think there's any reason why. Like, I'm going to use my mana here regardless. Inquisition on top of their deck. I guess that was another reason to wait, because now they just get some more information. So let's get Overgrown Tomb. So they have Thalia. So we're going to take this Thought Knot because the Thalia is going to mess with their Lingering Souls more than ours. This deck is so weird. Like, it's literally just... It's like Thalias and Lingering Souls. Okay. I just don't understand. Alright, so we're going to let this happen. He probably takes my Terminate. At least if I had to assume. Then on my turn, I'll cycle looking for a Street Wraith. I'll cycle, then I'll probably traverse for a Death Shadow. Oh, left me to terminate. Okay. Alright, so let's do this before we activate our Street Wraith, because we are doing just fine on the land territory. Okay, so we're going to traverse now to make it so this is get this done before while it's efficient before Thalia, and then play the Death Shadow, and then we will pass. Okay, so Concealed Courtyard. So that's what they drew. So we know their hand, and we're actually not going to kill this Thalia if they play it. If they want to chump with it, then whatever, because this actually messes their Lingering Souls up more. So let's get in for 3. How's it going, Vend SS? Oh, no. I was looking down. No. Oh, man. I guess we'll just get this now. Misclick through that. And then I shouldn't have taken the damage. Oh, I just got to looking at the chat and I clicked through my phase. So there's a swamp. They're going to try to cast Lingering Souls. Okay, they are going to cast Wasteland Strangler. Okay. So I can smoke this and then crash in with these. And I would assume he just blocks here. Well, he doesn't block, he's dead, but it also just makes sense to block because of his Lingering Souls. I don't think I want to take any more damage because he's going to start the Lingering Souls train here. Let me look what's in my I would love to draw like Liliana, the Last Hope, or a Maelstrom Pulse. I'm going to fetch now and fetch tap land. So our opponent's got one unknown card. We'll get another red source in case our opponent tries to like Ghost Quarter Rush or something. Jeez, some crow. Gotta block one. Okay, we'll pass. Conceal Courtyard. Opponent flashes Lingering Souls back, probably. I'm just playing another one. That makes sense. Because now they're going to be able to go double Souls. Get this tapped. Liliana would be really good. Temur Battle Rage would be very good. I don't think I can cast that. So once again, I'm just going to go in here. So now they're going to bring back 4 of these. That Shambling Vent's bad too. So now it's like Temur Battle Rage or bust. Temur Battle Rage, we need Maelstrom Pulse. Is Liliana the Last Hope? So I tick up, he chumps with both, and he still just gets in for 4. So Liliana Last Hope doesn't save it. It's like a Lingering Souls of my own. Right, I boarded in my Lingering Souls. Lingering Souls of my own, yeah, or Maelstrom Pulse. No, that'll do. He blocks both. Okay. This puts a halt on everything. Because now we can attack with our Death Shadows and our okay, Drew Ghost Quarter. That's funny. Okay, so so I can Thoughtseize my opponent. And then I can just Maelstrom Pulse all of these. And if they have a removal spell, that's such a, what a nombo. I think I just Thoughtseize my opponent, figure out, because this Lingering Soul is already gone, figure out what's up, and if they don't have anything, then I just pulse all the tokens away. Okay. What a weird draw that was. I literally back-to-back drew the cards I needed. Just in the opposite way that I would have wanted them. What a weird draw. Two for one to myself for the win. Okay. So that game went pretty long. I guess we drew a decent amount of discard. I don't really know if I want anything else. I think this is what I want. This is what we're going to go with. 6 viewers, guys. I appreciate everybody for showing up and hanging out. And I hope everyone's having a great night. I'll be back here on on Sunday morning to stream. This is a great hand. We'll keep this. Well, it's not great. We need a threat, but it's got like the Rage to punch through, and it's because of be able to clean up Lingering Souls tokens. So my opponent Inquisitions me. All right. That's kind of the cost of doing business here of these decks, though. Like, you play against a discard deck, and, you know, sometimes they discard the card. That's weird. Okay, so I do want another land. So I'm going to cycle this before fetching. Okay. So this gets Godless Shrine, so that our mana is all set. I have to see why my opponent took that. That's weird. Seems like a very loose take from my opponent. And a very loose hand. 5 lands. So I am going to get Stomping Ground with this just so that we're all lined up. And then we're going to just play out our Shadow. What do we got here? Comes the Thoughtseize here? Sure. Good rip. I can attack into this, actually. Took Terminate. So I know 2 out of the 3 cards. If I Thoughtseize him, then I die to a Reality Smasher. But if I don't Thoughtseize him, I'm not using my mana. I haven't seen a Reality Smasher in either of the games. I'm going to assume that he doesn't have it. So let's Thoughtseize. Okay, he doesn't have anything. So now if he attacks me and he's got nothing, he's dead. But he might see through that and Ghost Quarter the Stomping Ground. Plays Caves. He's tapping quick. Is that a Reality Smasher? Kalitas. Okay. So his last 2 cards are Shambling Vent, Ghost Quarter. I don't think we attack. I think we're just gonna play these and hang out. Hope our opponent misses. Then next turn we can attack, and we can actually first strike down this Kalitas, so that even if he double blocks, he won't get a zombie out of it. Alternatively, we can draw Maelstrom Pulse. I think we have to get a basic with this, though. Yeah, I think we just get a basic. We definitely have to just kill this Kalitas. Then we're still not dead to... we're still not dead to the board here. We're dead to the 1 unknown in the top of our opponent's library. Then if they don't block here, then they've got to block next turn. Head of Path. The old Path Kalitas combo. That's why I hated Kalitas and Abzan. So we kind of have to fade like a removal spell. And then we should be good. He could actually Ghost Quarter us off red. He Ghost Quarters us off red and attacks, and we literally only can draw Bloodstained Mire to Temur Battle Rage. But then he dies, but he can block with his Shambling Vent. Is this a Reality Smasher? It's a Sorin. Okay. So I do have to attack my opponent in order to get him to block with the Thoughtseize. So we're going to attack him. He has to put Thoughtseize in front. And then we just let this happen. And then we draw a card. Tarmogoyf. So now I think we just play this Tarmogoyf. I was going to K-command our opponent in their draw step, but I'm pretty sure we're just playing out Goyf now. Then what does this do? This is by far the worst Sorin. So I think my opponent's dead. Now they have to be dead. Right, so if I go this, discard this, it doesn't actually grow Death Shadow. Because they can put 2, 4, 8. They put 5 toughness in front of this. 16 minus 5, yeah, they're dead. Then we'll just kill this Shambling Vent before they get to block, before it does damage, so they don't gain life. Sorin just didn't do anything. Yeah, dude, we're going to kill all your stuff with first strike damage first. He definitely should have Ghost Quartered my red source. It's not often I beat a black-white deck with this deck. Alright, so this is going to be the last match of the night. We played a 5-set, so after this, we're going to call it. Last match. Hopefully we can turn it around here. It's been kind of a rough set so far. It's certainly been my roughest set. I hope the recording turns out okay as well. I'm a little bit worried with how laggy it's been. There we go. So we're in. Sorry, let's check out my computer. Okay, yeah, this is a fine hand. We'll keep this one. Oh, playing against Merfolk. Okay. I do believe that we're going to cast Spreading Seas no matter what this turn, because cast Thoughtseize or cast Inquisition because we need to hit a Spreading Seas. Like how I lose this deck is if I get Spreading Seized out of the game here. If that was the case, then I should have just led on my basic swamp So that was a mistake. So we have Master on top. Yeah, so this means that I'm definitely getting Spreading Seized. It might be caught with my pants down. Show me the Spreading Seas. Nope, just the Adept. Okay. Alright, we'll cycle this. Alright, that was a pretty good draw. So I do think I want to cast at least a discard spell here. Yeah, we have to get rid of the Spreading Seas. And then we're going to get Death Shadow into play. Spreading Seas is just the easiest way to lose this match. Like, they just can't... if you don't cast your cards, you're in trouble. I would argue my opponent should have Spreading Seized me on turn 1. So there's Mutable. That's what they drew for the turn. There's Vapor Snag. Sure. Getting in. Okay, that's a pretty good draw, because it means we can Revolt, kill this Master. So I'm just going to play this Death Shadow and play this. I'm not going to Thoughtseize yet, because they're probably going to have this Harbinger come in. This Harbinger, they're going to leave this. They're just going to cast Master right now. So there's the island. Yep. Not even gonna respond to his trigger. I'm gonna get Stomping Ground just so that our opponent can't cut us off of red. Alright, that's a pretty good draw. So I think I Thoughtseize my opponent. Traverse, play Death Shadow, hold up Tarfire. So I can block. Yeah, that's the line. So do I use this? Red? No, I can't use this. So let's play this. Thoughtseize my opponent. Okay. Unfortunately, I've got to take this Master, which means this Harbinger is going to be pretty annoying. So right, play one, block, Tarfire. Okay. Coming in. I will now traverse for another Death Shadow. Play Death Shadow off the Overgrown Tomb. And pass. Yeah, the Harbinger is definitely an unfortunate draw. Okay, so we know what they did. So they might just go for it. Nope, they're just Harbinger. But they still... So they get that. Alright, so they're Hellbent. So are we casting... I guess we're casting this now. So we're going to hit this. Because we might draw a Liliana or a 3-drop. So if I attack, he has to block. He doesn't have to block, and then, yeah, so I can't attack. Because if our opponent draws like Vapor Snag, we're dead. Right, I can't attack because he just chumps or takes it. And then I can only stop 2 out of the 3 blockers. So we're just going to pass. Looking for Temur Battle Rage. Okay, so I'm going to assume our opponent bricked. Yeah, they bricked. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's get rid of this right now before combat. And I will just come in for 9. guess I should have attacked with both, because then he had to block. Like right now he doesn't have to block, and then yeah, that was a mistake. That was a mistake, because now we died a Vapor Snag. Yeah, I should have attacked with both. Forced to block, and then he doesn't have a draw that kills us this turn. And if I had played my land, then he'd have done both. Okay, so now we're not going to make the mistake. Well, I didn't miss lethal. I missed forced block, Melfin, because he just goes like right here, and blocks both of them. So like I essentially could have put them in the double best. Yes, he would have had no outs. Yeah, so I did make the mistake there. So now we'll play this. Yeah, you got it, sir. Yeah, no, you were right. Like, I acknowledged that right after. Even if I would have not even, I just made like the worst play possible there. Like I should have either attacked with both, held my land, or shocked myself and attacked with both, and it didn't matter. Yeah, many lines were available to me, and I picked the worst one. So the Ranger's not really where we want to be. We don't want the white splash, so we can get rid of this Godless Shrine. I do like these quite a bit. I don't like Liliana the Veil. Brutality's fine enough to bring in. Yeah, no, you were right though. I don't think I want anything else. Like the Brutality's not even that great a removal spell. It's just something. Yeah, so we're just gonna go like this. We don't have any removal, but we're effective against, like we can handle, we're not going to get Spreading Seas out of the game, which is really important, and we have Fetch Shock, 15, he attacks us. I really dislike mulliganing hands with 2 threats against Merfolk because they're so poor at dealing with them, and their whole... Like, they can't really nickel and dime us like Burn can. So I think I'm going to keep this hand. I don't like... It's on, like, the edge. So we're going to... That's a good draw. So I'm going to lead on Bloodcrypt here. I should have left on Overgrown Tomb pending that. That was a mistake. Because now I would rather have my green source get Spreading Seas than my red source having this Temur Battle Rage. Yep. My opponent's awfully aggressive with the Curse Catchers. The Curse Catcher my discard spell in both games. Yeah. So we're going to get Overgrown Tomb and cast ourselves a Tarmogoyf. We're going to need another land. That land's basically going to be Stomping Ground. Mirror Regery. Okay. Let's see what's cooking. Lords 4 days. Can I so if I take this, I go to 15, attack them to 17. They play 2 of these out. We're just going back and forth. I think I need to take this Master and then hope they miss on land drops and then out-muscle these Curse Catchers with my creatures. I think that's the plan. I can easily see where that does not. Like, I don't anticipate winning this game. So it's the Spreading Seas, man. Spreading Seas is a beating. Okay, so there's Curse Catcher number 1. Opponent storming off. It's Curse Catcher number 2. Ether Vial. Alright, so we got perfect information. It wasn't bad, so I Thoughtseize them, take the Master, go to 11. They attack me to 5. Let's give them Island Walk. No. So Thoughtseize them. Go to... So attack them at 17. We take 6. Go to 5. Then play both Death Shadows. I don't think I can attack because I want to be able to play this Death Shadow and have time to 5. Next turn play Death Shadow. Check 2 of them. Go to 3. Then if we draw a fetch land, we can't cast Temur Battle Rage. So yeah, I don't think we can attack. I think we were on the defense here. Take that. Maybe I should have traversed for a swamp and done that. Okay. Opponent's bricking. So now I do think I attack with Tarmogoyf. Now I definitely think I attack with Tarmogoyf. Because now it trades for 2 of his creatures straight up. Let's see who's drawing. Island. And then we can eat any of these creatures because of how Death Shadow works. The old Merfolk man. I'm going to be very surprised. I mean, we're potentially going to win a game that, you know, we get Spreading Seas out of. Okay, so I think we're just, once again, we're just attacking with Tarmogoyf. And I do think I'm going to traverse for a land so that we can cast Maelstrom Pulse next turn. I could see Maelstrom Pulse having some value, hitting like, because I mean, I'm gonna, if he plays a Lord next turn, I'm going, like his Island Walk, I'm gonna Pulse it. If he, I mean, I'm just gonna use my mana all the way next turn. Fortunately, it doesn't give me Delirium. Oh, that relic is a pretty good draw. At least our Tarmogoyf is gonna grow a little bit. Destroy another relic. Okay, check that. Tarmogoyf is not going to grow. Well, that's aggressive. Okay. So what does that mean? Fetch Shock. Fetch Shock. Tarfire. Maelstrom Pulse. Oh, this doesn't fetch a black source. Never mind. Doesn't fetch a red source. So let's get this. This grows our Tarmogoyf 3 points. And then we're just attacking with both because it's lethal. Right? 1, 2. I guess it's 1 off. It's 1 off, and then we can't die to a Lord Vialed in because this is 4. Yeah. I think we're gonna just pop this. Well, this could be a Harbinger. Alright, so now both the creatures are lethal. I don't really know. My opponent's just had pretty unfortunate draws these 2 games. Pretty unfortunate draws from the opponent. So they're vialing in. Okay. All right. So now it's like fetch land or bust. This game changed. Yep, fetch land or bust. That ain't no fetch land. Yeah, got Spreading Seas out of that one. But that's how that matchup goes here. Like, we're going to win the games that we don't get Spreading Seized, and the games we do get Spreading Seized, we're going to struggle. Alright, I don't think we're changing anything. I think we're just going to keep it as is. This will be the last game of the night, guys. I appreciate everyone for coming in and hanging out. Hopefully we can end it on a high note here. So this is another hand that's going to struggle against Spreading Seas, but we have 3/4 of the way to Delirium, so this will be able to eventually fetch lands. So I do think I'm going to keep it. We're going to get an Overgrown Tomb to just be able to protect our red sources. They have an island on top. Right, double Relic isn't good. Oh, and they kept this hand. They have an island on top. Jeez, bro. This is going to be hard. So now we're pretty much just looking for Death Shadows. Let's give us an island block. I guess we'll just get rid of one of these. This game is going to get much harder very quickly. There's an island and a relic. Opponent relics me. I'll get rid of my sorcery. So now we shall lay the land out. So I do think I want to take this Lord of Atlantis here. It's going to kind of invalidate our Flaying Tendrils, but that's the little struggle of Flaying Tendrils a little bit in this matchup, is that you have to you need to like be able to manage their board. Like it's Flaying Tendrils is like cast a spell and tendril somebody. Okay. I think I'm just going to get rid of this now. Be mana efficient. I don't want it to, like, I want to use this Collective Brutality while I still can. And I can't use this Brutality. Fun fact, I could have escalated there and then traversed for a Death Shadow, which might have been a better play. I had to ditch my Tarmogoyf, but I seriously doubt Tarmogoyf is going to be very good this game. There's a Vial, right on time. Relic. So we'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of that. Alright, so we are going to shock ourselves here. When we get Stomping Ground, it's pretty important to do that because this is going to be a Death Shadow game with those double relics there. That was a really good draw. So now we just Tarfire ourselves, go get a Death Shadow, and play the Death Shadow. We're gonna have to wait on this Flaying Tendrils, but he's only got one creature. That was a very fortunate draw. It gave us Delirium and let us play. I would anticipate a pretty quick cycle of this. Okay. You gotta cycle one of these, right? You gotta hit a land drop. Yeah. Hit a land drop. Great draw. Okay, so they get rid of that. So they have Mirror Regery and 3 other cards. I really don't want to get Dismembered, so I think I'm going to take it slow with this Death Shadow. Dismember is easily a card that they play, and this Tarmogoyf is just not a legitimate threat. What if I just crack this now? Vapor Snag. Okay. Tight game. Mirror Regery. Okay, we knew about that one. So now I get to actually Flaying Tendrils and keep my Tarmogoyf around. And if he has another Lord to Violin here, then because when this resolves, this becomes a 2/3. I guess you can just pop the relic also. So we have another Flaying Tendrils coming. I don't think I want that. So this will get us a Bloodcrypt. Then we'll just poke in here with Tarmogoyf. He should just exile this. Nope, opponent's like, cool, dude. You get some with your Tarmogoyf. I will play my 7/7. Fatal Push is a great draw. Okay. So we're still just going to beat him with Death Shadow. I might attack with Tarmogoyf also. Because, yeah, actually I'm going to attack with Tarmogoyf. Because if he... Actually... No, I'm not. Because I can't revolt this. I'm going to take 7 on the chin. We are very close to getting into Temur Battle range. My opponent plays like a Kira. I'm just going to hit this Curse Catcher. It's odd to not hit one of my untapped lands. I could have Abrupt Decay. That's fine. Opponent can't attack, because they attack with everything. I think I've got to do this right now. And then it will cause a chump block from my opponent. Take 3. I guess it, yeah, it does. Oh no. If I would have waited. Maybe I made the mistake there. Yeah, that was definitely bad, right? Because, so if I draw a fetch land, well, I guess I go to 2. I only go to 2. Well, no, I can't fetch and grow Goyf because it doesn't kill him. Well, if I fetch grow Goyf, then this kills me on the crackback. So I need a Fatal Lord. Because this is a forced block. So we're just swinging out here. It would be one thing if the Goyfs were lethal, but this isn't a lethal attack. So now we just have to dodge a Lord, of which they have many. Okay. Now I think the game's over. Because he can't attack. Oh, wow, yeah, that actually shuts. I can't fetch. So now I need to draw something. And I didn't. Oh, what a tight game. All right, there's no way out of this. All right, well, that'll be it for tonight. I hope that everybody watching, and I'll just make sure they do it, I guess. That's our out. All right, well, I hope everybody watching had a good time. If you guys like it, please hit the follow button. I'll be back here. I stream on Wednesdays and Sundays. I'll be a little sporadic this week as I'll be moving. So I'm moving to a better place, have a better setup. So, like, I know my lighting's a little weird right now. So yeah. I hope everyone has a great rest of their night. If you guys like what you see, please hit the follow button and have a great rest of your week.